Hello everyone, this is Greyshot once again to bring you a new Company of Heroes 2 replay brought to you by myself, Quacky, Dr. Virus, and Varus. This was a 4v4 we did on Red Bull Express. My god, I can't pronounce anything today. And yeah, it was a pretty exciting game. I figured I'd show it to you guys. Versing the Allies, 2 Vermok, 2 OKW. I'm Vermok with, again, pretty high-ranking players, which will go with Grippin, Hitty, Attila, and Phantom. So overall, not a bad group of guys. Pretty good, honestly. Played very well. I am going to pause it right now because I do want to say something. So I got a comment from Empire Rommel that apparently I called him out. I want to note something here. I guess, and this is my first replay I've done since I guess he messaged me. I respect Empire Rommel as much as I critique him. I think he's a good YouTuber. I think he has a big fan base, and I do like his content. And again, his content, along with Call of Duty Man and a few other people, are the reason why I started making COH2 content. That being said, I can criticize his vulgarity and sometimes his bluntness. However, he's still a pretty good commentator on micro and with individual tactics. And that being said, when you're doing a commentary, there's stuff obviously you're going to miss that is pretty easy to spot. That everyone else is like, oh my god, how come you didn't see that? Which is kind of something people point out in my replays. But I digress. I'm not saying that, again, it's like, I don't know, I think I may have stated something that called him out, but I just want to say, while I respect his videos, I will critique his vulgarity and possible racist remarks in some aspects. Before you say it's the internet, I will state this. If you go to any of my videos, I will state that, again, I try to personify myself in a video as I would in real life, and none different. That way, of course, if someone were to see this, friends, family, or otherwise, or maybe a complete stranger, they would see, hey, this Greyshot guy is pretty, so-and-so, or pretty like this. That way, of course, they have an understanding of who I am and not some fake personality. And while there is some aspect to it, I don't try to differentiate it too much from my normal, my normal pretty much statement. So, yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I just want to get that out there in case any more of Empire Rommel's crew or himself or someone from the comments just does a statement in which, of course, that completely makes the situation a lot worse. It's, again, maybe I did call it Empire Rommel, but maybe it was justified, maybe not, for something. Oh yeah, maybe it was because he stated he wasn't playing. Maybe it was that. But anyway, overall, it's just like he's a good player, he's a good commentator, and he's a good YouTuber. Although, to be fair, there are some things he could improve upon. But that being said, that same thing with me. For example, I can't get XCOM Tutor on a 1080p. Oh boy, now let's the battle begin. Now this guy, of course on my side, Attila, is working with Phantom, and they're both trying to guard the fuel. Again, Red Bull Express, you have all the resources in mid, which is the vital point. For the American player, as you can see here, they put down this they put down this pretty much bunker. As you can see here, the fighting position, and also not upgrading it, although he will shortly. They have an MG to guard this point. But the trenches here for the MG, again, the British MG, which is so good, to fire back. Now, as you can see here, I move up my MG along with Grenadiers. I was hopeful that the MG would pretty much not be shot, but apparently that is just simply not the case. Luckily, again, my ally, Quacky, is over here providing me, again, MG support, while both OKW players are on mid. And as you can see here, the OKW player tried to flank, pushed this guy's MG back, and actually did a pretty good job. Now, by the way, this guy is absolutely going to go MG spam. He is absolutely going to do that, and it's going to be so annoying. Absolutely. Now, also, I like this. Funny, this MG is actually in the trench, and it's focusing fire on my quote-unquote MG. Luckily, again, Quacky for the support, suppressing that infantry squad before they move up, which is pretty cool in my book. Moved up to capture the munitions, get some extra munitions in. Again, 42 per turn, not too shabby. Quacky trying to move in through the right, but unfortunately this fighting position is throwing grenades, which is causing a lot of its infantry to explode. I think is a good way to summarize it. Now I do have a Grenadier squad here. The reason I have this is very simple. Wait for the upgrade, as you can see here, and then use it on this position. Get that MG, have another MG that I moved up to the front, and also did the rifle grenade on this target, because again, it is a fortified position, easy to hit, and we're going to move up. Luckily, Quacky moves around for the flank. I'm going to move around as well. Move up my MG, and try to open with this. As you can see, the rifleman... Oh, wow. Really nice grenade throw. Really nice grenade. Unfortunately, while he does have an MG currently in production, again, his riflemen are still kind of open and are still being hit by this guy. Now, of course, the MG could suppress that MG and stop them from being suppressed, but alas, they are not, and his rifleman is taking some fire, and most likely, again, from the weakened state, the Grenadiers will win this engagement. Now, if we go over here, we can see that, of course, who is this? Dr. Virus pushed up and actually caused some major damage to this British player. And also the quote-unquote this guy, and Hitty. But Hitty's coming back, and he's going to MG spam. This is a tactic in which, of course, you have an MG facing every direction. And the Soviets, because again it's 240 for an MG, can use it and also very quickly maneuver their MGs to cover an incoming attack. This is something that is used quite a bit. I've seen it more and more now. But yeah, so Dr. Virus is currently dealing with that along with Verus. We can see here that Dr. Virus got the breakthrough doctrine. Again, Jagdtiger, great long range, especially on Red Bull Express. Lots of open area for a Jagdtiger to get some nice shots. So very good. Also, breakthrough is great for calling on artillery on points. That is something that, again, you go after a lot of points on this map, so it could be very vital. So I have an MG over here in heavy cover. Grenadiers, again, behind heavy cover. Hopefully trying to push this guy back and stop him. Unfortunately, this, as you can see, the American players coming in force. And we don't have that many guys, as you can see here. Quacky kind of had to fall back. So, yeah. Thanks, Quacky. Thanks. You're so helpful. So I'm the only one up here. I'm kind of holding this guy back, kind of. But not really. I have an MG guarding mid, just in case I don't get flanked. But apparently I'm facing the wrong direction. It's over here. And yeah, that's when it's like 4 MGs all fighting over here. So, yeah. Why not 5? Why not 6? Oh, boy. Anyway, Red Bull Express, the positive note is there's lots of heavy cover in these middle areas, as seen here. And I think, no, the horse is medium. Oh, right here. And then over here, the building. And, of course, some of this stone structure on both sides. Luckily, again, we were able to use the MG to our advantage, some nice mortar shots, and the Grenadier just kind of tearing apart his units. Unfortunately, though, this British guy is pretty smart. You can see here made a forward assembly. That way, of course, he could retreat his guys to this point, and then keep on engaging. Luckily, again, Quacky is moving up with a half-track that is equipped with the flamethrower. Although it can't reinforce, it doesn't need to. It'll just run strafes and just burn everything to a kingdom come. However, as you can see here, the other British player, we can go over to Gripen, which is currently on one side, is currently running around the battlefield and, yeah, going after this half-track now, because again, he's helping his teammate, which is very smart. He's still kind of helping over here the Soviet player. Again, Hitty's kind of moving up slowly but surely with his MGs, but, yeah, as you can see, they're kind of being very wary. They're kind of just making sure their ally is secured, and the fire did do quite a bit. Now, I did use a bunch of Panzerfaust, which kind of pushed back their armored car, which this armored car, very good early armor unit. It's very good against infantry and even some light to medium armor if you use it correctly. That being said, we're trying to rush up to Panzerfaust it, but as we see with this MG, I don't want to get too close, and I'm going to retreat back in smoke so I can pull it back. Now, he's going to do another Panzerfaust, but as you can see, he's going to fall back, and the MG will kill him. Sorry about that, but again, I had to pull him back. Now, as you can see here, I want to stop him from flanking, so I put down a bunker. And, you know, of course, that bunker is great for stopping any flank coming through this general direction. So, yay for me. Again, my mortar's also doing pretty good, hitting a few strategic targets. And now Attila has his own armored car. Again, for the armored car, you can go for the armored car or for the, quote-unquote, Boffer. The Boffer is good for defense, armored car is good for offense. MG's currently trying to hold this thing back. Fortunately, his Grenadiers, stuff like that over there, do armor-piercing rounds, which just pretty much do more damage. Also, hopeful to do more against the armored car, but as you can see, this is a very different armored car. The bullets, oh wow, that was awesome. So the armored car shots, although the armored piercing round shots against the armored car, doing a little bit, but not all that much. So right now, of course, Panzerfaust it, push back the armored car. But unfortunately, the lieutenant is going to annihilate me and push back my infantry. Luckily, I do have a teammate here who's going to keep hitting him, and I still have a mortar, which will cause some damage. So that's a positive. But they are slowly but surely gaining back territory. On this side, we have a bunch of Volksgrenadiers trying to push up, and also an AT gun doing artillery. Again, against the big blob of Volks over here. Just, I don't blame it. Also, MG in this building, great. And by the way, yes, ladies and gentlemen, they fixed this goddamn glitch by just adding in a back area. So good for them. Nice Stuka, kind of did a little bit of damage, but here's the thing about the Stuka. You have to make sure you can protect it. And unfortunately, Dr. Virus didn't do that. He doesn't have any AT, he didn't place mines, and unfortunately, this armored car used its special to make sure you had a goddamn engine, making sure the Stuka could not retreat. And although he does have one AT unit, the Stuka is going to get annihilated. Any armored car is going to deploy smoke and retreat. Again, it's a good hit and run vehicle and great for hitting strategic targets like a Stuka and then retreating before the enemy really knows what's going on. So good thing for him. Haiti went shock right front lines. Again, probably one of the most overused doctrines the Soviet has because again it has a lot of OP forces and units. It's anti-artillery barrage, shock troops close range, IS-2 good all around, etc, etc. It's a good unit. Again, Quacky's currently helping me, just trying to hold this point rather than being pushed back. Unfortunately, we have a MG42, which was kind of stolen from us. Kind of helping. And as you can see here, they have a decent front line, slowly but surely pushing us back. And I do like how they keep going in waves. They'll kind of retreat here, and then they'll wait for all of them to come up, and then they'll hit in a wave. So even though we kind of are holding right now, they will kind of push up slowly but surely. So what's my plan? Well, right now I'm trying to save up for a Panzer IV. Figure I can get that up and try to counter these armored cars. Because right now, they don't exactly have a lot of packs until, well, they stole, you know, our pack. But they don't have a lot of AT especially, is what I'm trying to get at. However, the problem is now they have fuel. We go over here, the Allies control this fuel point and this fuel point while we control the munitions. So while having, again, 58 munitions per turn is fantastic, it's not helping us out that we have no fuel, we can't get out of their better armor, kind of helping us counter. The good thing is we're getting a lot of munitions, which is good for us. As we see, your Phantom went Z8. Oh, nice shot right over here, which is kind of good. Just like good tanks. Decent flamethrowers. Overall, not as good as it once was after the update. Although the best thing in here is white phosphorus, which again will reduce the enemy's health to near zero and making them instant kills. I'm going to go close air support for some nice strategic airstrikes. Verus went the fortification doctrine. Pack 43 is great, and pretty much the bunkers and stuff that or fortified positions that the OKW can put is also pretty good. I like the support guns. I like them because, again, he's doing a lot of damage against the quote-unquote MG spam this guy tried and is so far failing at. He lost quite a lot of his MGs. Putting that truck a little bit too close to the front line, knowing that there is a quote-unquote armored car around there. Luckily, again, the Volk squad kind of lured into a trap. I really liked it. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but if they get a few more shots off, boom, nice hit. Very nice killing the armored car. There is a MG here, although enough direct fire could probably kill it. We have a lot of units coming through here. Luckily, again, armor-piercing rounds holding back the infantry. The armored car is going to start shooting, but luckily, if you move a Grenadier squad, usually the armored car will fall back. And luckily, a nice rifle grenade pushes back the infantry once again, and essentially allows us to gain a little foothold, and slowly but surely counter. Nice Grenadiers, pushing in double Panzerschreck, do quite a bit against the armored car. Again, has some armor, but not a lot. Nice. Oh, nice shock grenade. Again, getting that from the elite troops doctrine. Yet stormtroopers can also be deployed from behind, and you also get Panzer Tactician in the Tiger Ace, which is pretty great in my opinion. Rifle grenade on my end doing absolutely nothing, but hey, I don't need it to. Mortar's still doing quite a lot of damage, and also my MG is currently guarding against a flank, which apparently this guy didn't understand. So my guy's gonna put back on armor-piercing rounds and just literally just shoot a bunch of riflemen as they try to crawl toward my MG. This is a great plan, everybody. Just a great plan. Boom. Armor-piercing rounds is nothing to joke at. It is something that will tear you apart. Put a mine over here in case they send armor through the middle, just in case. Waiting for that. And as you can see, we're halfway through the game. I know it's going to be a short game. It doesn't have to be an hour long to be entertaining. Anyway, you can see here that, again, Volk Squad's pushing up with support guns on combo. Doing pretty good, doing some nice hits against the heavier targets such as MGs or shock troops, which is kind of making sure then, again, that they can push up, even though, of course, the Soviet troops and the British troops are better. The Volk Squads are technically weaker. The support guns are kind of leveling the playing field a little bit, which is really, really nice. Although, I could say support gun spamming, but again, he only has 2, so he's not doing that bad. Also decommissioned the Stuka, but that's just me. You can see here the bunker is still over here, but we have some artillery coming down. Gripping with the, let's see, Commando Regiment. Very interesting. Again, not getting all that many munitions, although they're trying. They have a pack coming over here. Luckily, again, nice some mortar hits, kept it back. And Panzer IV running over the infantry and making them fall back. I'm pretty happy because, again, they kind of stop them from pushing in that direction. Now, as you can see, I have a lot of munitions, kind of just saving up and trying to help out. I don't want to get too many per se. I don't want to use all of it, but again, having a nice cushion with close air support is good. That way you can do a lot of strategic bomb strikes or, attacks when you need it. For example, when the enemy is sending a lot of infantry your way, the best thing to do is to delay them until you can put up your quote-unquote defenses, such as MGs and everything. I will put this MG in a better position. What's better than calling in a plane to come in, do a nice strafe, and cause all the infantry to pretty much, again, retreat. Now, unfortunately, the British player can instantly retreat to this position and heal, which is why he's moving the Stug to counter, but the pack is like, heck no. However, the American player is to run all of his infantry back to his base, which, again, pretty great. Unfortunately, Quacky is losing a lot of men and a lot of armor. However, for myself, I have a decent amount of men. Nice Stuka. Destroying that base, doing a great job at neutralizing it. This has caused the unfortunate, very nice shot. Again, Panzerfaust for the win. Again, this caused the British infantry to unfortunately have to retreat all the way back to base, which will give us some leverage at holding this territory. So that's pretty good in my book. Panzer IV just trying to help out, but unfortunately there is a pack over here, so I can't move up too much, but I can still do some pop shots at the enemy. They are moving up their pack, but like I said, I have an MG, which is going to help at least hold back their infantry for the time being. Quacky is taking some losses, and as you can see over here, wow, Dr. Virus has a large infantry focus, and so does Veruz. Actually, they have a lot of Volk squads, so they're actually pretty good on armor. The problem is they're still losing this point because, again, simply because of the fact of better infantry, and also if we can look here, we can see here again just shock troops. Just shock troops, wave of 4 shock troop squads. So we went from MG spamming to shock troop spamming. And for those who don't know, shock troops are extremely good close range and eat Volk squads for breakfast. So they're easily going to come around here, do a lot of damage very, very quickly to Volk squads, even if they want to like throw grenades. Luckily, the Volk squads do have a counter that, as you can see, they're throwing the fire grenades to stop the shock troops from moving up. And as you can see here, the Volk squads are in heavy cover, so while the infantry section are better infantry and could be upgraded to do a lot more damage, there's so many Volk squads and they're in better cover, which is causing them to, of course, win. A little late on that already. Should have probably used it a little bit sooner. That being said, they could probably focus fire on these the Sturm officer, and would easily force them to retreat if they killed it. There we go. So you kill the officer and all the Volk squads for that faction retreat. Unfortunately, those Volk squads are not part of that same quote-unquote unit, so they're not going to. Once again, the Panzerfaust. I can't underestimate the power of the Panzerfaust. Keeps that thing back. But unfortunately, a lot of infantry are coming around here. Kind of yell at Quack for, I guess, all the infantry. Shouldn't really have, honestly. Luckily, we do have a little bit of support. Nice Stuka come in. Again, thank you, Dr. Virus. Apparently he thought, sending his Stuka over here would be a lot safer than the other area. Now, you could also be wondering, hey, Greyshot, they built this. What are you going to do about it? Well, it's very simple. It's a perfect place to pretty much hit an enemy where they don't expect. And I'll show you that in a few seconds. As you can see, we're kind of, at odds over here. We do have a Panther, which is very nice. Again, trying to take in this area. Again, it's kind of going back and forth. Luckily, again, we do have most of the munitions, which is a positive thing, and I'm kind of... my MG still here. I should retreat it, but again, I'm kind of worried about the left side, so I kind of just leaving this here, worrying about that and coming back later. Also, luckily, no one's manpower hoarding or kind of hoarding any major resource. Anyone that is hoarding, such as this guy's probably saving up for an IS-2 or something more specific. So I do a recon plane as shown here. We'll do a nice little pass, and if you're wondering what that is, boom, bing, bada boom, we'll do a nice little anti-tank strafe, cause a lot of damage, destroy that forward position, and force them to pretty much retreat once again back at base. Over here, I do another one, as you can see right here, the Stuka AT strafe to pretty much suppress all the infantry from moving up, at least temporarily. Back over here, they're at the defensive line. We have a bunker over here and 2 OKW bases. Now, if this guy was smart, aka the Grippin guy, he would save up his munitions and do a nice strategic bomb strike over here, because you could do a lot of damage. It is kind of spread out, so it would take like a really nice one, but I would say like right here would be a good, because you could do a nice bombing strike at both these positions and also probably kill these support guns and stuff. So that's what I would probably do if I was Grippin and try to neutralize this. However, as you can see here, again, they're kind of focusing all their efforts on holding back these squads. I would kind of say they're Volk squad blobbing, but again, that is a tactic for the OKW, essentially just using a lot of frontline infantry like conscripts or riflemen or infantry sections. So, can't really say that that's a bad tactic. Nice fire grenade, kind of stopping their MG. Nice support gun shot, by the way. Slowly pushing them back. Only 2 support guns, by the way, so not really spamming, honestly. This guy doesn't really have anything. He has 1 Stuka, which is more helping us out than anything else. Luckily, his Stuka is once again pushing back the Easy 8. Again, he got a lot of Stugs. Not sure why. I figured he would Pracky would probably want to move to something else, but apparently he likes the Stug. He has a lot of Stug upgrades, Stug, whatever you want to call it. Nice Stuka, kind of pushing them back. Nice try. And as you can see, we've essentially pushed them back pretty far. So that's pretty good. And again, this area's been kind of in contention for quite some time, so I'm just happy that we were able to actually just finally, and I do mean quote-unquote finally, take this point. Now this is something of contention, that again, this could be put either way. Since we kind of dominated them, we finally pushed them out of this point. You would figure they would want to go somewhere else. And again, the points are pretty even, so it's not like they're losing or anything. It's actually pretty close. With the Allies barely lower than us, but again, we have some fuel points, which is why. And munitions wise, they're again, they have we're kind of higher, but again, that's because we have the point. So honestly, on that, resource wise, it's an even game. And if we look at army sizes, unfortunately, that's when things differ. That's when things differ greatly, because again, this guy just MG spamming. That's all this guy is doing, and that's not really countering the quote unquote bunkers. And he just did white phosphorus. Why do that? Why do white phosphorus? You were so close to a bomb strike, and you could have done so much damage. But no, apparently not. You don't want to do that. Whatever. You get a Firefly, okay, that could be pretty good. But again, you're kind of neglecting the big thing that was stopping you, which is the support guns. So that's a negative. Also, this Soviet player, again, using a lot of expensive infantry. So while it is beating the Volk squads, resource-wise, again, I have to give it to the other player, because again, they're doing a lot more with less. It's like Deadpool. Oh my god, I'm gonna make a Deadpool reference. That movie's so good. Go see it. Highly recommend it. Anyway, again, moving structure was captured mid, kind of saying no, get out of here. Anyway, it's kind of like Deadpool, in which the movie was made for like $55 million, and then you could then X-Men Days of Future Past was like $150 million or something, or 200 million. It's something ridiculous like that. And yet, again, you can look this up. I swear to God, Deadpool made more money in its opening weekend than any X-Men film ever. So it made more money than the biggest budget X-Men film, which is quality over quantity. So while you could have a huge budget, doesn't mean the quality of that money is being used to good use. Unfortunately, as you can see here, Easy 8's doing pretty good over the Duke. So good for them. Anyway, but that doesn't mean shock troops, while better infantry wouldn't be, let's say, aren't being as productive as, let's say, conscripts or some other type of unit. Personally, if I was this guy, I would use my incendiary fire on this unit and also bomb strike, but whatever. Also, I would almost never use this commando unit because I mean, like, okay, I get it, you won't put the building there for recon, good for you, but that's kind of weird that you just have it there. And also, you use 500 manpower on this when you're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. Whatever. So when they once again attack, but not in bulk, just one army, and they're currently fighting 2. So anyway, 2 Easy-8s moving up, and again, you would think versing a Panzer IV, they have the upper hand, but with another Stug, thanks Quacky once again for spamming that, Grenadiers, and a pack, this thing is pretty much went from A-OK to pretty much it's dead. So a pack firing, currently pushing back my Panzer IV. Currently, I'm getting myself, oh wow, okay, so we have someone saving for something. Some nice arty coming in over in this location. IS-2 moving in, slowly being pushed back again by Panther and AT forces. Firefly coming in, but kind of too much of a narrow pathway for the Firefly to really be that effective. Again, you kind of wanted like long corridors, sure, but the fort, it's still kind of like a lot of places you can pop out Volk squads, and that can do a lot of damage. Also, very nice decommissioning these MGs. Just get rid of them, remove them from play. That's what you need to do. Anyway, as you can see here, they're moving a lot of infantry and stuff up, and unfortunately, Churchill with the grenades doing a lot of damage. Luckily, my pack is still doing a lot, but again, it is a Churchill, so it does have a lot of armor. So what am I supposed to do? Well, there's something I can do. As you can see here, I do have a lot of munitions. And also, probably one of the things I did, which kind of screwed them up, was I did a Stuka bomb strike over here, which may have killed some of their forces and kind of helped win the game. Again, it doesn't take a lot, but one strategic bomb strike, such as this, could really turn the tide. Man, it's a lot of Volk squads. Jesus Christ. But as you can see, they're kind of focusing all their efforts on the left side now, kind of on our side. And I'm going to focus over there. We have all 4 guys over here trying one last final ditch effort. Even though it's really not that bad to move in. Plane coming in, doing a nice Stuka close air support, doing quite a lot of damage against the Churchill. Okay, not a lot, but a decent amount. Double Stug moving in. I feel like this is what I was trying to do, but he can never get more than 2 Stugs. Anyway, trying to move stuff over here. I lost my Panzer Force on standby, still holding. They're trying to push up. I'll give it that. They're trying. Using Incendiary to push back my MG in the path. That being said, guess who has a Panther? And guess what the Panther's good at? Taking down stupid Easy-8s who think they can go toe-to-toe with a Panther. And then double Stug guarding. I'm like, wow, I have an escort service. That's pretty cool. Over here, a Panther coming in for flank, neutralizing that bunker. Again, this is the time we come in. This is like the pincer movement. So, moving my units on the right, you have Panthers on the left. Come in. Doing a nice suppression run. Panther coming in to make sure that the Churchill can't escape. Panther coming in, and there goes one Churchill. There goes the Firefly. And I think there goes the IS-2. Yep, there goes the IS-2. So there goes 3 of their biggest, most powerful units, and then there goes the Easy-8. And they surrender immediately, because one strategic target, one swallow swoop, one counterattack, and one side, like, not counter, yeah, pretty much does a counterattack on our side against their attack, pretty much neutralized all their forces and allowed us to control most of the map. So yeah, overall I thought this was a really good game. It showed a lot of great tactics involving just like a lot of micro play and just like counters and stuff like that, which I really liked. Again, also some stuff where like I had a fallback bunker in case I did get pushed back, so they could get delayed. Sure, it wasn't permanent, but at least it held them back. Again, there wasn't really much action in middle, mostly. But, at least, the bunker in the back is also pretty nice. Just having a nice fallback point is something I feel like is very crucial. It's something that, again, we were able to establish over here very well, again, with my allies. And even for myself, even though we had to retreat back to base, we still had a decent fallback point that we were able to eventually establish. And that's kind of held us in game. While the British guys, they tried to make a fallback point, and that truly did help them in the early game. But once we realized what they were doing, we immediately countered them and tried to neutralize that. Also, again, you could also criticize that this guy, the American player, didn't really make a fallback zone, so he had to keep going back all the way back to base. He never really had a stable front line, while the Wehrmacht, again, had an MG, and then we sent our Grenadiers up, which he really didn't have. He never really had like a stable defensive line-esque. He always had a front line attack, but never a defense. And you want kind of want both. You don't want just have the best offense. You also want a really good defense. But yeah, that's just me. And sorry about my rant earlier, or whatever you want to call it. But I just also wanted to go over that because I don't want hard feelings between another person that really doesn't deserve it. Anyway, look at score. I got most damage and most kills, 117. Love it. Second place, Quacky. Got a lot of damage again to Stugs, but did lose quite a bit of Stugs, to be fair. Verus and Dr. Virus did pretty good. Best player in their team, Attila. Again, this guy was a beast. I have to say he was pretty good overall. Just on frontline combat. Phantom was okay too. Again, worst player, but Second, Hitty. Again, he was pretty good with his MJs and shock troops. But like I said, eventually, since they didn't really change their tactic, nor did they really think of countering these strategic hard emplacements, they eventually lost. And it's kind of funny because they're a Soviet player and a British player, and they're both really good at uprooting OKW. I'm serious, they are. Especially with their doctrines. I'm looking at this guy, Attila. He honestly, again, if I'm looking at him, he probably could have went, yeah, he went hammer against Churchill. But if I was him, I would have went artillery cover, because what that would do is pretty much neutralize any attack, and any vehicle sighted or infantry would be instantly suppressed and neutralized. So I would have done it in this area, stopped the Volk squads, and eventually pushed up. But alas, he did not do that, and I don't know why. Okay, that's kind of weird, the smoke screen ability, but whatever, I'm not going to judge. Okay, that's why the field guns always hit or penetrated. But yeah, that's pretty much game. Oh wow, Grippin could have done a lot more, but I think he just gave up. In any case, I do want to thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this game. Please remember to send in your own game. You can do that for me via my Facebook or my Gmail. Both located on my YouTube phase. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.